The Introvert's Recharge, a Midnight Cat Café story. December 24th, 9:30 in the evening. Somewhere behind her, the party continued without her. Tamsin had slipped out the back door while her cousin was explaining cryptocurrency to anyone who would listen. 23 people in her parents' house, kids running through the kitchen, her aunt asking about her love life, the television playing a holiday movie that no one was watching, competing with 3 conversations happening at once. She loved them, she really did, but her ears were still ringing, and her smile muscles ached from being held in position for 4 hours. The cafe appeared on a corner she didn't remember passing before. Amber light through the windows, a small wreath on the door, the promise of quiet. She pushed inside before she could talk herself out of it. Silence. Not complete silence. The radiator clicked softly, and somewhere a spoon touched the rim of a cup. But after the wall of noise she'd been swimming through, this felt like surfacing, like finally being able to hear her own thoughts again. 2 other people sat in distant corners, one reading, one with eyes closed, just resting. Neither looked up, neither required anything from her. Tamsin found the most tucked-away seat she could, a worn armchair in a corner where 2 brick walls met. She sank into it and felt something in her chest begin to unclench. The woman behind the counter had kind eyes and moved without hurry. "Quiet night?" Clara asked, appearing with a small menu she didn't push. "I have a lavender chamomile that's very gentle. No caffeine, no demands. Just warmth. Please." The tea arrived in a ceramic cup that fit perfectly in her palms. Steam rose, carrying lavender and something like honey. Tamsin breathed it in before she even took a sip. The cafe held her in its hush. String lights traced the walls in soft loops. The velvet of the chair cradled her tired body. Nothing here asked her to be anything. The white cat appeared from somewhere Tamsin hadn't been watching. She moved like a small cloud drifting across the floor. Persian, impossibly fluffy, with a peaceful expression and eyes that stayed half-closed as if she'd already figured out everything worth knowing. The cat stopped at the base of Tamsin's chair, considered her, then began to climb. One paw on the armrest, a pause, a slow shift of weight, the other paw finding the cushion's edge. Another pause, longer this time, a small adjustment. Tamsin watched, mesmerized. The cat took nearly a full minute to settle onto her lap, each movement deliberate, each step intentional, no rushing whatsoever. Finally, the cat circled once, twice, found her position, settled, and began to purr. The sound built like waves approaching shore, low at first, then swelling, then easing back. Not demanding, just present, a rhythm that asked nothing except to be received. "That's Mochi," Clara said from across the room. "She doesn't hurry for anyone." Tamsin sat with Mochi's weight on her lap. The tea warmed her hands. The purr moved through her body, her thighs, her stomach, her chest. Outside, her family was probably wondering where she'd gone. Or maybe not. Maybe they were too busy to notice yet. Either way, she was here now, in the quiet. "I love them," she said softly. Mochi's ear rotated toward her voice, but the cat's eyes stayed peacefully closed. "I really do love them. My whole family. But 23 people is a lot." The purr continued its steady rhythm. "Everyone wants a piece of you at these things. How's work? Are you seeing anyone? You look tired. Why are you so quiet?" She exhaled slowly. "I'm quiet because I'm trying to survive." Mochi shifted slightly, resettled. Her body softened even further into Tamsin's lap. "I used to think there was something wrong with me. Why can't I just enjoy parties like everyone else? Why do I need to escape to the bathroom just to breathe?" The radiator clicked its patient rhythm. Tamsin sipped her tea, lavender and chamomile, gentle on the tongue, the kind of thing that doesn't demand you feel any particular way about it. Mochi's breathing had slowed to something almost meditative. Her sides rose and fell in a rhythm so calm it made Tamsin aware of how shallow her own breathing had become. She matched it, in when Mochi's sides rose, out when they fell. In, out. Her shoulders dropped. She hadn't realized she'd been holding them up near her ears until they released. "You're not worried about being somewhere else," she said to the cat. "You're not thinking about the party you left or the conversations you're missing. You're just here, completely here." Mochi began grooming, a slow, deliberate process. One paw extended, licked methodically, then tucked back. Then the other paw, each motion unhurried, complete attention to one thing at a time. "My therapist calls it a social battery. Some people have bigger ones. Mine runs out faster." Tamsin watched the grooming ritual with something like envy. "That's not a flaw. That's just how I'm wired." Time passed without announcing itself. The tea cooled in her hands, then warmed again when Clara silently replaced it with a fresh cup. The other patrons drifted out one by one, each looking slightly more settled than when they'd arrived. Mochi had finished grooming and returned to her meditative stillness. Eyes fully closed now, purr continuing its wave-like rhythm, trust radiating from every relaxed muscle. Tamsin's phone buzzed once in her pocket. She didn't reach for it. "Maybe leaving early wasn't rude," she said, testing the idea. "Maybe it was just what I needed. Maybe the best gift I can give my family is showing up rested next time, instead of staying until I'm so depleted I can barely speak." Mochi's ear twitched. Agreement, possibly. Or just a cat being a cat. "You recharge by being still. I recharge by being still." Tamsin ran her hand along Mochi's impossibly soft fur. "We're the same kind of creature, you and me." Clara appeared with a small cookie wrapped in a napkin. "For later, whenever you're ready to go." "Thank you for the quiet." The older woman smiled. "Quiet isn't nothing, you know. It's its own kind of something. Some people need more of it than others. That's not a weakness. It's just a different way of being. Mochi stretched, a long, slow, luxurious stretch that seemed to go on forever. Then she hopped down from Tamsin's lap and padded away toward the back of the cafe, moving at the same unhurried pace she did everything. The drive home felt different than the drive away. Tamsin cracked the windows and let cold air fill the car. It felt like clarity, like her mind had space in it again. She pulled into her parents' driveway. Through the windows, she could see people moving, talking, living their loud and loving lives. Her cousin had probably moved on from cryptocurrency to something else by now. The kids had probably crashed. Her aunt had probably found someone else to interrogate about their romantic prospects. She could go back in, say she'd stepped out for air, rejoin the warmth and the noise and the family that loved her. Or she could text her mum, say she wasn't feeling well and drive to her own apartment, climb into her own bed, let the silence hold her until morning. She sat in the car for a moment, deciding. Then she typed a quick message. Heading home, not feeling great. Love you all. Merry Christmas. The response came quickly. Feel better, sweetheart. We saved you cookies. Tamsin smiled. They understood, even if they didn't fully understand. And that was enough. Her apartment was dark and cool and quiet. She didn't turn on the television, didn't check social media, didn't fill the space with anything at all. Just changed into soft clothes, made a cup of tea she didn't really need, climbed into bed with the covers pulled up to her chin. Tomorrow she'd call her mum, tell her about the little cafe she'd found, maybe even go back for the second half of Christmas dinner, recharged and ready. But tonight, she rested, the way Mochi rested, deliberately, completely, without apology. Her eyes closed, her breathing slowed, and sleep came softly, the way it does when you finally stop performing, the way it does when you let yourself be still. Still.